Your mindset is the foundation of everything. Your day, your decisions, your future. Improve it even slightly and everything else starts to shift. Because your attitude doesn't just shape how you feel. It shapes how you see the world, how you deal with problems, and how others see you. It's the lens through which you experience life. A positive attitude doesn't make life perfect, but it makes everything more manageable. It opens doors that negativity keeps shut. Think about it. Have you ever spent time with someone who's always negative? Someone who complains about everything no matter how good things are? The weather's never right, people never treat them fairly, and every solution is another problem. Now let me ask you, how much success do you think that person attracts? Not much. Why? Because their attitude becomes a barrier, not a bridge. It pushes opportunities away, people avoid them, they repel growth without even realizing it. Now flip that picture. Picture someone who walks into the room with energy, optimism, a can-do spirit. They don't pretend problems don't exist, they just believe solutions are possible. They approach life with curiosity instead of criticism. These people attract others like a magnet. People want to work with them, be around them, help them. And it's not because they're lucky, it's because of the mindset they've chosen and built day by day. That's the key. You build a strong attitude. It's not something you're born with, it's not fixed, it's a choice you make every single day and a skill you develop over time. You start small. Maybe today you focus on gratitude. You take a moment to appreciate what's good, even if things aren't perfect. Tomorrow you work on patience, giving others more grace and giving yourself more room to grow. The next day you decide to stop dwelling on what went wrong and start focusing on what you can do next. Each day you take one small step. You stack one brick at a time, and over time you'll find yourself operating from a different level. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, your reaction to problems will change. Your energy will shift. People will notice. Opportunities will start coming your way, not because the world changed, but because you did. The truth is, your attitude sets the tone for everything that follows. It affects your health, your relationships, your work, and your potential. A weak attitude makes even small problems seem overwhelming. A strong attitude gives you the strength to push through even the hardest days. So if there's one thing to improve each day, make it your attitude. Protect it, train it, feed it, and most of all, practice it, especially when things aren't easy. Because that's when your attitude matters most. And when it's built right, everything else in your life begins to align. Everything in life is built on communication. Whether it's your relationships, your career, your business, or your leadership, communication is the glue that holds it all together. The way you speak, listen, and interact with others determines how far you go, not just in your professional life, but in your personal life as well. And yet, this is one area most people never intentionally work to improve. But if you do, even a little each day, it can completely change your trajectory. Let's get something clear. Communication isn't just about how well you talk. Some of the most effective communicators in the world aren't the ones who speak the most, but the ones who listen the best. They don't listen to reply, they listen to understand. They pay attention not just to the words, but to the emotion, the energy, and the message underneath. That kind of listening builds connection, it builds trust, and trust is the foundation of influence. Think back to a time when you felt misunderstood, when someone didn't listen, talked over you, or assumed what you were trying to say. How did it make you feel? Frustrated? Disconnected? Maybe even angry? Now flip it. Think about someone who really listened to you, who gave you their full attention, asked questions, and made you feel heard. That kind of communication stays with you. It creates respect. It opens doors. Every day you have the chance to sharpen this skill. Today you can focus on listening more and talking less. Try to truly hear what the other person is saying, not just their words, but their feelings. Tomorrow, work on expressing yourself more clearly. Take a moment to think before you speak. Choose your words carefully. Make your point without confusion or conflict. The next day, practice speaking with more kindness and less criticism. Be honest, but never harsh. Be clear, but not cold. Communication is like a tool. The sharper it is, the more effective it becomes. And just like any tool, it gets better with consistent use and refinement. You find that people begin to respond differently to you. They trust you more. They listen to you more. They're willing to follow your lead because they feel understood and respected. The truth is, most problems in life, in business, in teams, in families, don't come from lack of talent or intelligence. They come from poor communication, misunderstandings, unspoken expectations, assumptions. But these are avoidable. When you commit to improving your communication just a little bit each day, you reduce confusion, you prevent unnecessary conflict, and you build stronger connections. So make it a daily habit. Talk less, listen more. Speak with clarity, ask better questions, be present in your conversations. Because when you communicate better, everything in your life improves. Your influence, your relationships, your leadership, your peace of mind. And over time, that simple habit will make you someone that people trust, respect, and want to work with. Discipline is the bridge that connects your dreams to your reality. It's the quiet force behind every achievement, every breakthrough, and every meaningful goal you've ever reached. Without discipline, good intentions fall apart. Without discipline, even the best plans are just wishes. But with discipline, real, consistent discipline, you become unstoppable. Now, discipline isn't about being tough on yourself or living with restriction. It's not punishment. It's power. It's the ability to do what's necessary, not just what's easy. It's showing up when you'd rather take a break. It's staying focused when everything around you screams for distraction. It's following through, not because it feels good, but because you said you would. Think about it. Everyone wants results. Everyone wants to succeed. But very few are willing to do the small things consistently, especially when the excitement fades. That's where discipline comes in. It's what carries you through the boring days, the hard days, the unmotivated days. It's the habit of finishing what you start and doing it with excellence. And here's the good news. Discipline is not something you either have or don't have. It's something you can build, just like a muscle. You start small. You wake up 15 minutes earlier than usual. You stick to your workout plan even when you're tired. You stay at your desk until the task is finished, even when your phone is calling your name. These little acts don't seem like much in the moment, but they stack up. They create momentum, they shape your character. Eventually, what was once difficult becomes second nature. What once required effort becomes automatic. That's the beauty of discipline. It transforms effort into habit and habit into identity. Now, it's important to understand that motivation will not always be there. Motivation comes and goes. But discipline, when developed, is consistent. It doesn't rely on your mood. It relies on your decision. You may not feel like doing the work, but discipline reminds you of why you started. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it simply shows up and gets it done. Life. I've seen countless talented people fall short because they lacked discipline. They had potential, but they lacked follow-through. On the other hand, I've seen ordinary individuals achieve extraordinary things because they were consistent. They weren't always the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest, but they were dependable. They did what needed to be done day after day without excuses. So if you want to separate yourself in business, in health, in life, don't rely on bursts of effort. Build the discipline to show up daily, create systems, stick to routines, be someone who follows through, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. Because once discipline becomes part of who you are, success becomes less of a question and more of an outcome. Results will follow, not overnight, but always, in time. Often, what truly holds us back in life isn't the outside world, it's what's happening within us. It's not the economy, the competition, or the lack of resources, it's the thoughts we carry, the beliefs we accept as truth, the silent voice in our head that says you can't, you're not good enough, or you failed before, so don't bother trying again. These are called limiting beliefs, and they're like invisible chains. You can't always see them, but you feel their weight every time you hesitate, procrastinate, or talk yourself out of growth. But here's what you need to remember. A belief is not permanent. It's not a fact. It's simply a thought that you've repeated so many times it feels real. And just like you learn to believe something negative, you can unlearn it. You can replace it with something empowering. You can rewire your mindset, one thought at a time. It starts by challenging those voices in your head. When the thought pops up, I can't do this, stop and ask, why not? Who told you that? What evidence are you holding on to? And what if that thought simply isn't true? Try this instead. Say, I'm learning how to do this. That small change opens the door to growth. It shifts the focus from failure to learning, from stuck to progress. Or take another common belief. I'll never be successful. That's a heavy statement. It implies finality, as if your story is already written, but the truth is, your story is still unfolding. What if you change that belief to, I'm on the path to success? Suddenly, you're in motion. You're moving forward. And that shift in mindset makes all the difference. Changing your beliefs doesn't happen overnight. It's not a switch, it's a process. But it begins by becoming aware. Start noticing the thoughts that come up when you're faced with a challenge. Pay attention to the language you use when you talk about yourself. Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Because your words shape your beliefs and your beliefs shape your reality. Every day you have a chance to improve your mindset. Maybe today you focus on noticing when you're being hard on yourself and you choose to be more compassionate instead. Tomorrow you remind yourself that mistakes are part of the journey, not the end of it. The next day you look in the mirror and say, I'm capable, I'm growing, I'm becoming stronger. And slowly, thought by thought, you start to believe it. You start to see possibilities where you once saw roadblocks. You start to act with more confidence, more clarity, and more courage. Life begins to respond differently, not because the world changed, but because you did. Don't let old beliefs hold you hostage. You're not defined by your past. You're not limited by your doubts. Every belief you change is a step toward the future you deserve. Challenge your mindset daily, and in time, you'll discover that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. Time is the one resource that's truly non-renewable. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and regain it with rest. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. That's why how you use your time is one of the clearest indicators of whether you're moving toward your goals or drifting further from them. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. No one gets extra. What sets people apart isn't how much time they have, it's how they manage it. High achievers, successful entrepreneurs, top athletes, they've all mastered the art of managing their time with purpose. And the good news is, so can you. It starts with awareness. Begin by observing how you currently spend your time. How much of it is intentional, how much of it is reactive. We live in a world full of distractions. Endless notifications, constant scrolling, people pulling you in every direction. If you're not careful, your time will be consumed by things that don't align with your values or goals. So start small. Before each day begins, take 5 to 10 minutes to plan it. Write down the 3 most important things you need to accomplish. Don't try to do everything, just do the right things. Prioritize what matters. Learn to say no to what doesn't. Not every task deserves your energy, not every request deserves your yes. And here's a secret, productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Being busy doesn't mean you're being effective. You can fill your day with activity and still make no progress. True productivity is about results. It's about aligning your time with your highest priorities. It's choosing progress over motion. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to manage time without managing energy. You see your time is limited, but so is your focus, your creativity, your stamina. If you schedule all the right tasks at the wrong time of day, when your energy is low, you won't perform at your best. Learn to match your most important work with your peak hours. When your mind is sharp, do your deep work. When your energy dips, handle the lighter tasks. And don't forget to schedule breaks. Rest is not a waste of time, it's an investment in your productivity. Burnout doesn't come from working too hard, it comes from working without recovery. Short, intentional breaks can reset your focus and keep you sharp throughout the day. Over time, every small improvement in your time management will add up. You'll feel less overwhelmed and more in control. You'll start to accomplish more with less stress. And most importantly, you'll begin to make steady progress toward your long-term goals, not by chance, but by design. Treat your time like it's valuable, because it is. Every minute is a choice. Spend it with intention, and your life will move in the direction you truly want to go. In a world that never stops evolving, standing still is the fastest way to fall behind. Every day, new tools emerge, industries shift, ideas spread, and technology advances. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. That's why the people who keep growing, who keep learning, are the ones who stay ahead. Because knowledge, when applied, becomes power. It's not enough to get through school and think your education is over. That was just the beginning. Real learning, the kind that transforms your life, starts when you make it a personal commitment, a decision to grow beyond the basics, a choice to become a lifelong learner. Every day gives you an opportunity to learn something new. The question is, are you taking advantage of it? You don't need a classroom, you don't need a degree. What you need is curiosity and a little discipline. Read a few pages of a good book. Watch a seminar on something that challenges you. Listen to a podcast that stretches your thinking. Take a course that helps you develop a valuable skill. These actions may seem small, but repeated daily, they build a powerful reservoir of knowledge over time. You'll begin to notice something. The more you learn, the more confident you become. Your conversations change, your decision-making sharpens. You start seeing opportunities that used to pass you by. And when challenges come, because they will, you're not intimidated by them. You've developed the tools, the insight, and the flexibility to adapt and overcome. But remember, knowledge alone isn't enough. You have to apply what you learn. Action transforms knowledge into results. You can read all the books in the world, but if you don't apply the lessons, the growth stays in your head, not in your life. So don't just be a collector of information, be a doer. Learn, then act. Test, refine, improve. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received was this: formal education can make you a living, self-education can make you a fortune. And it's true, some of the most successful people you'll ever meet didn't stop learning after college, they just changed how they learned. They read daily, they asked questions, they stayed humble enough to admit they didn't know it all, and hungry enough to keep finding out more. Here's what separates lifelong learners from everyone else. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They learn because they know it's the best investment they'll ever make in their minds, in their futures, in themselves. So feed your mind like you feed your body. Fuel it with quality input. Make learning a non-negotiable part of your routine. And as the days pass, you'll start to notice just how far you've come. Not by accident, but by intentional daily growth. The more you learn, the more you earn. Not just in money, but in confidence, impact, and ability to shape your own future. Success doesn't arrive in one big moment. It doesn't show up overnight with flashing lights and grand applause. It's built brick by brick, habit by habit, decision by decision, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. If you want to transform your life, you don't need to wait for perfect timing, for more money, for someone else's permission. All you need is a daily commitment to growth. To show up and work on the things that truly matter. Your attitude, your communication, your discipline, your mindset, your time, your knowledge, your finances, your development, your health, and your environment. These aren't just checkboxes on a list. They are the pillars of a strong life. And when you give just a little energy to each, every day they begin to work for you. They align, they create momentum, they open doors you didn't even know were there. Will it be easy? No. Nothing meaningful ever is. But it will be worth it, because the version of you that exists on the other side of daily discipline, that version is stronger, wiser, more capable, and more fulfilled. So take responsibility for your growth. Take control of your habits, and remind yourself that your future is being shaped by what you choose to do today. Don't wait for someday, build it now, day by day. And when you look back 1 year from now, you won't just see progress. You'll see a transformed life, not by accident, but by choice.